Thanks, Jackie. Hi everyone, my name is Yinmei Wan and I'm a senior researcher at the American Institute for Research. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge my co-authors for this report, which include my AR colleague, Dr. Jim Lindsay, who will also present later today, and two researchers from the University of Missouri at Columbia, Dr. Mike Podgorski and Mark Elhert. Okay, first a little bit background about the study. So this study was conducted in response to our alliance members who raised two concerns. First, there were anecdotal evidence that suggested many educators were leaving urban schools where there are a large number of low-income students to work in suburban schools that serve more affluent students. There are also concerns that a disproportionate number of teachers were leaving positions in Minnesota to take teaching positions in the neighboring states. So we conducted this study and we got support from state education agencies in Iowa and Wisconsin. So we focused educator movement within each of these three states as well as across the states. We were interested in examining movement between schools within each state, which we called intrastate mobility, as well as interstate mobility. So we also explored whether, particularly intrastate mobility, whether it varies by administrative level, by subject area and region, and whether mobility rates were related or predicted by educator and school characteristics. For this study, we defined mobility as movement between schools. So mobility is regardless whether the teacher or the educator took a different type of position in the new school. Also, for the analysis of superintendents, obviously, we focus on movement between districts. So we used two types of data. First is the educator staffing data from 2005 and 6, 2012 and 13 from each of the three states, as well as school level performance data and data on the characteristics of schools from each state. This slide gives you a sense of the size of the educator workforce state. It shows the average number of teachers, principals, and superintendents in public schools during the school years examined in each state. So for each state, we create longitudinal files that track educators over time. We classified each person's employment states into one of the three categories at the end of each year. So stayers are those who stayed for the next year, and leavers are those who leave from the state system. Stopouts are those who left for next year, but somehow returned in later years. Similarly, at the beginning of each year, we also classified people into three groups, whether the teacher is new, or whether they were stayers from last year, or whether they were movers from another school in the state. Here's how we calculate mobility rates. Basically, the annual intrastate mobility rate was defined as the percentage of educators in a state in a given year who were observed working in a different school in the next year. We also calculate average annual interstate mobility rates, averaging the year-to-year mobility rates across the entire 5-year period. We also calculate 5 mobility rates, which indicate the share of educators in 2006 and 2007 who were identified in 2011 and 12 as well in the same state, but working in a different school. For this day, we define interstate movers as well. Basically, some educators stopped appearing in state employment data, and so the last observed records for these educators were matched by name and birth date to the employment records from the other two states to identify movers between these states. In the next several slides, I will highlight some of the findings from our study. Detailed findings you can find those in our report. So this slide shows the average annual mobility rates for teachers and superintendents. Obviously, mobility varies by administrative levels. Principals had the highest level mobility among these three groups. Interestingly, Minnesota had the highest mobility for teachers, Wisconsin had the highest mobility rates for principals, and Iowa had the highest for superintendents. This slide shows the 5-year mobility rates for teachers, principals, and superintendents, which are largely consistent with the findings for annual mobility rates. So the next 3 slides shows annual mobility rates over time for each of the states. Here, this is for Iowa. So the annual rates between 2006 and 7, 2010, and 11, so in Iowa fluctuate less than like 2 and 2.5 percentage points over the years, and there doesn't seem to be a obvious trend over time. So for Minnesota, it can be shown that the mobility rates for teachers tend to be very stable over the year. And the differences between the 3 groups tend to close out in the last year of the study. So for Wisconsin, all 3 educator groups saw an increase in their mobility rates from 2009-10 to 2010 and 11. So we also explored examined whether mobility rates varied by subject areas. Within each of the 3 states, we found statistically significant differences in the mobility rate for teachers in different subject areas. Specifically, the mobility rates were lowest for high school subject areas teachers and highest for special education teachers. The average mobility rate for teachers ranged from like 4% in Iowa for high school science teachers to 14.8% for elementary school special education teachers in Minnesota. Teacher mobility rates also varied across regions in these 3 states. Differences were found for teachers in all 3 states and for principals in Iowa and Wisconsin. Most of the moves are within each region, are the movement between schools within each region, rather than movement from one school in one region to another school in another region. Mobility rates tend to decline with experience, even after we controlling for other like educator and school characteristics. So in this graph, we characterize teachers' experience into 3 intervals or 3 groups. It shows that teachers with 0 to 5 years of experience had the highest mobility rates in all 3 states. So mobility rates fell for teachers with 6 to 20 years of experience, and lowest for teachers with 21 or more years of experience. So it also found, consistent with the literature, that mobility are more likely to affect high-need schools. For example, schools where there are large concentrations of top economically disadvantaged students, We found very little movement across states over the entire like 7 periods. There are a total of a little over 1,000 educators across all groups, all 3 groups, and less than 1% of them moved from one state to another. So our study is the first such study to examine mobility within and across states using the same like methodology. So the study provides detailed information on mobility and patterns for these 3 states. We think it's important that states monitor mobility routinely. Findings like this can serve as useful like baselines for future comparisons. So also like the development data on interstate mobility of educators is also like a unique contribution of this study. There are several limitations of our study, obviously. First, we could not reliably determine the reasons for observed mobility based on the administrative data we have for this study. This means, for example, that overall mobility rates include both like voluntary and involuntary movers. We also did not attempt to explain why educators move. Finally, the findings from this study are not generalized to other states that might have like different population growth patterns than the 3 states in this study. So in addition to the final report, we also have created 3 shorter briefs, 1 for each state, and a short video. All these reports in the video are publicly available here. So with that, I will turn to our next presenter, Dr. Robyn Miller, who will provide her perspective from State Education Agency in Oklahoma.
Really helped to inform our teacher shortage task force work. And so I'm hoping you're seeing now some initial recent information about the status in Oklahoma of our teacher shortage. This is a survey basically from our State School Boards Association that you're seeing on the right. So to just set the context, in Oklahoma, we have been working for over 2 years on this task force, and you're seeing that the 3 focus areas would be recruitment, retention, and then rewarding of our teachers. The work of the task force, we had 27 recommendations the first year, and then this last year about 13 recommendations. Again, informed by some of the research that we have access to when it comes to trends in educator pipeline, trends in educator certification, and of course mobility trends. What we're seeing in Oklahoma, mobility-wise, within the state, we do have those who are leaving the profession and remaining in Oklahoma, but leaving the profession and going into another industry. Much of the reason is teacher pay, but not always. We also see movement from district to district. So educators who are choosing to go to a different district within Oklahoma to teach, whether it's because of their support might be enhanced in that new district, could be monetary support as well as professional development, building principal support. Mobility out of state, certainly we have those who are cognizant of neighboring states and teacher pay and supports there, and so we do see those who are leaving. I think something that's very interesting, speaking of mobility state to state, is we see many people come to Oklahoma to be prepared in teacher preparation, only to then leave and go back to their home state. It's just, it's more cost effective to come here to be educated. So I think that's quite interesting. The teacher shortage task force, as I mentioned, we have in the last 2 years about 40 recommendations. And just to mention a few of those, about 12 actually required legislative action and were signed into law. One of those was a teacher leader career ladder. Another had to do with reciprocity. Another activated our retired teachers in a better way. Business type recommendations out of our task force. We're very excited that we launched a summer teacher externship, and it's a paid externship. We had a business accept 5 teachers this last summer, and it was a STEM-related field, so these were primarily science and mathematics teachers. We're hoping to use that one externship as a pilot and promote that with other businesses so that next summer, 2018, we will have even more. And then in the area of more educator-type recommendations from our task force, we've created some positive messaging. We've created what we call Ed Talks. They're 3 to 5 minute messages from Oklahoma teachers, specifically talking about why they teach and why they stay in teaching. And so those are pretty powerful, I believe. Again, in looking at our shortage in our context, we are informed by, our shortage is informed by where we are with emergency certification. And I'm certain that emergency certification is very similar in other states. It might be called provisional or something else. But as you're seeing here, this is at the district level, the LEA superintendent at a crisis point in realizing that he or she is unable to fill a position, and then must make requests to the State Board of Education for an emergency certified teacher, one that they have already identified. So they come to us, of course, with that name. Where we stand today, what you're seeing here is actually, I went too far, pardon me, is, you know, the last several years, how we have just ballooned into, you know, well over 1,000. And actually, to update in the last couple of days, I can tell you that we sit at 1,667 for the school year, this current school year, 2017 and 18. So, you know, this need for an emergency certified teacher at the district level is really being very vocal right now. Our colleges of education in Oklahoma are down 37% in those who are majoring in education, choosing the teaching profession. And so our district leaders are telling us that they are not receiving applicants. So they are choosing to pursue this emergency certified status. You know, so what that signals for us, of course, as a state agency, is that we are mightily working to bring professional development and even college credit coursework to these emergency certified teachers. In connecting to our own agency's strategic plan, it's really kind of an ABC, achieving academic success, building exceptional educators in schools, and then creating engaged communities. We're really focusing on, of course, the child and student success. But when we think about educator, teacher shortage in particular, what can we do to help elevate the profession, to help support those teachers so that they are retained? So more of a retention effort as opposed to a recruitment effort. I can tell you that we've been working with many other entities, agencies, again, colleges of education, for example, in trying to bring together, whether it be funding resources or you know, time and capacity expansion, and we've been very successful in those efforts. You know, all of this sort of wraps into our ESSA plan. As we know, all states have ESSA plans that are typically tied to strategic plans. And when we look at Oklahoma's ESSA state plan, again, we do have that individualized approach. We have what we call goals, initiatives, and equity traits. And those that connect to educator mobility and educator supply and demand. One of the goals is 100% of our students, grades 6 through 12, being on an individual career academic plan. And that will take a focus on educating not only counselors, but teachers. So there's a lot of meaningful professional development to be had in all corners of Oklahoma. We certainly have rural, remote locations that we want to be certain that those educators have access. Something else that is, I think, very exciting is that, part of ESSA does require that states, of course, calculate their disproportionate rate of ineffective teachers, and so we're certainly doing that, but we're also incorporating what we're calling a risk analysis, and it's our own assessment. We're looking at our own deficits possibly, and that would be allowing for some data collection basically in areas of our educators in thinking about where they're at risk for becoming ineffective. So taking more of the preventative approach as opposed to then just calculating our ineffectiveness. We'd certainly like to see that our teachers don't arrive at that ineffective status. And so we are applying and conducting this risk analysis, and those indicators would be looking at the degree or the major, certification type, as well as certification exam attempts and results, and then meaningful and applicable professional development. And so, we're certainly hopeful that, what that research will show us will help to keep an effective teacher in every classroom.